Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here to work on my room again. We went through the process of cleaning my room and now we're going through the process of organizing my room because, a clean space, it looks clean on the surface, but in order to be organized, you got to dig a little deeper in, go through some drawers, go through some iris containers, go through, even some drawers. What I do is everything basically stays in that drawer, but it's in there kind of jumbled and all messy. So I want to organize everything so that everything is nice and clean too and organized in each drawer. So we're going to start with this iris container, and it was just filled with die cuts and stickers. And at first I was kind of, dividing it by type, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is taking way too long. So I'm just going to take all the embellishments and put it in that container that I have a whole bunch of embellishments. And that's going to be a problem for another day. I went through that one iris container and there was some pattern papers in there. There was a few other things like washi tape and that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to put those where they belong and the pattern papers where they belong. And then I have another container clean. I think I'm up to 7 now, 6 or 7 iris containers that are completely cleaned. And what I'm liking is as I'm going through these, I'm finding sticker sheets, I'm finding pattern papers that I really like. And a lot of times I'm turning them over right away, meaning that, I take them and I'm like, hey, I'm going to make a page kit with these very soon. And it's going to go in my rotation way faster than sitting in that iris container. So today, what we're going to work on, and by the way, this took me probably 3 or 4 sessions. So I didn't do this all in one day. I did the iris container one day, and then the other day I worked on my last fridge container, if you will, that I keep my stamps in. Now this one here was a little different because it holds smaller stamp sets that I used a 5x5 or 4x4 envelope with, instead of the regular size. Like you can see on the right side of the container, it's tall, I want to call them envelopes, but they're not, like they're sleeves, if you will, tall sleeves. And then the left side, it's smaller. And in the other stamp fridge containers, I was putting the small stamp sets intermixed with the bigger ones. But then I was like, these are not gonna, I'm not gonna see them. They're gonna get lost in that. So when I got to this container and I saw that I had a whole bunch of small ones, I'm like, perfect. I took my little Nimbot printer and I made all the labels again. So I started again and did alphas, animals, all the different ones. And I'm going to make dividers for the smaller ones too. The only thing is, the other ones I was cutting them 2 by 8.5. It looked way too tall in these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them out, put them in my laminating machine at that size. And then when I put them in the container, I'm like, this is not working out. So you'll see what I do to fix that. So I took every stamp set out and I'm dividing them again by category. And another thing that I found in this container is one side of it was actually dies. So I'm like, this is perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on my shelf, on my IKEA shelf. I'm going to start from left to right, and the first container will contain like from A to C and then so on and so forth. so that if I'm looking for words, I know that to go to my last container, and that's where my words are going to be. So I still need to do that part. On my IKEA shelf, they're kind of all messed up right now. So it's just a matter of taking all the containers out and just arranging them, from A to Z. And when I was cleaning my room, I said, I need to clean what can be that I can see, like what is bugging me the most right now, and I need to clean it. So that last area that, is not pleasing to the eye is definitely that IKEA shelf. I have a 5x5, so it has like 25 little section that needs to be cleaned. So it's not something that I can say, well, I'm going to just take an hour and a half and just clean that, because those stamp sets was a big area that needed to be cleaned. So I was like, okay, what can I start with? And definitely that was one of the things that was bothering me the most, was those stamp sets. So I did that. So basically I have now 4 containers, if you will, 4 area out of that 25 that's clean. So now every week I'm going to kind of pick another square and I'm going to clean that up. And I think that's the thing that we need to realize the most, is that, when a project looks overwhelming, just look at it as little sections. If you remember way back, the fly lady, she would say, put 15 minutes on the timer, or never go to bed with your sink not clean, like polish your sink kind of thing at the end of the day. So it's sort of like that mentality, like just take little section. I don't actually put a 15-minute timer on. I just say, okay, I'm going to take that drawer and I'm going to fix it up. Now, the 2 drawers that we just fixed there is some drawers that I've been going into a lot, because it has like my little envelopes and my backing cards, and it was all messed up. And literally I checked how long it took me to clean those out, and it was less than 5 minutes per drawer. And it's been something that's been bothering me forever. And all I did was take everything out and just rearranged, everything nice and neat. And I managed to put my Nimbot printer right in there. So now my printer has a spot. And then there was a couple things that didn't belong in there, and you saw me put them where they belong. Now, is that drawer clean where I brought that stuff over? Absolutely not. But the point is when I get to that section, now I won't have to wonder if there's anything else, like I'm probably going to keep those drawers with the die cuts, or the iris tray that has all the messed up die cuts all messed up, Maybe I'll just keep that iris container like that. And then I can go through it when I'm trying to make pages. We'll see. But at least I know that all the stickers are in one area. All the chipboard are going to be in one area. All my die cuts are in a drawer. When I find a tag, I have a drawer that's just for tags. I have a drawer that's just for frames. I have a drawer that's just for journaling booklets. And at least I know that everything has a spot. So when I go to put stuff away, I have a place to do it. So I just thought I'd show you me journaling on, I think I did about 35 layouts on this specific day. Now I slacked off for a few weeks. My goal this year was to journal on 10 layouts per week and put them in albums. And I kind of slacked off for the month in the summer, So now what I'm trying to do is every week, instead of doing the 10, I'm trying to do, 20 instead, just to make up for those weeks. I don't think it's going to take me that long to catch up, because, 10 is not a lot. So if I do 35 like I did this day, that's almost a whole month's worth. So it didn't take me too long. I think I figured out it took me less than 30 minutes to journal on these layouts. And what I do is, before I start, I divide them in kind of sections. Okay, this I already know it's in 2022. This was in 2023. And if I'm not sure of the date, because everything is on my phone, I research it. Or what I did too is especially our trip out west, is I wrote out from day 1 to day 44 where we were. So when I look at the picture, I can go, oh yeah, this was this day, and I can put it on. Now, a lot of times what I do when I do these layouts is I take out my rolly stamps to stamp the date, and I thought, you know what? I didn't feel like doing that this day. So I just took my pen and I wrote the date instead of stamping it. And that's perfectly okay. The point is that these pages now are fully journaled on. They have the date. I've already put them in page protectors. And next week, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. It wasn't my idea. It was actually some of my patrons that said, hey, did you see this? And I said, no. And they told me where to go, and I'll share all that with you next week. But it's going to save me so much time and money in putting my albums together or putting my pages away. So make sure to watch next week, and I'll share that with you, and I'll give credit where credit is due, who thought of that idea, but I love it. Another thing is by me inserting, just 2-3 minutes at the end of these videos showing me journal. One, it's making me accountable to do these, to journal on them. And two, a lot of people ask, can you, share some of your layouts that you've done over the years? So there we go. We have these layouts, you can see them kind of sideways, but I didn't make it so fast that you can't pause the video and you can't look at the layouts. And just to mention that a lot of these layouts we've done over on Patreon. So there's a video for most of these layouts. It's either a class that I did, like a scrapathon, or it's from a YouTube live that I did, or it's a virtual crop, or on Patreon. And over on Patreon, I have everything categorized. So I even have everything, like every year we do like tools and techniques pages, and I have them done by year, and I also have them saved so that okay, this was done in September 2024, and in September we were focusing on tags. And every month my patrons, they vote on what we're going to work with the next month. So if you're interested in checking that out, I have a feature that for the gold members, which is the highest tier, you can get to try that out for 7 days for free. And you have access to, it'll be 4 years that I've been on Patreon on January 1st, 2025. So that's 4 years of videos that is available on Patreon. But that's it. That's going to finish it for today. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. If you're enjoying these videos, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.